Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to continue with our discussion on Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. Yesterday we discussed extensively the plot of the novel. Today we are going to be discussing the characters and the roles that each character play in the novel. Please subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so that you get notified when the video on the themes in the novel is uploaded. Thank you. The first character we are going to be looking at today is Okonkwo. Okonkwo is the major character and protagonist of the novel Things Fall Apart. He is physically strong with great strength in his character. Throughout the novel, Okonkwo strives very hard to shed the inherited laziness to assert his manliness, because he inherited a kind of laziness from his father because his father was lazy. So Okonkwo exudes masculinity, ruthlessness, and violence from the very start of his life. Okonkwo believed his father was a coward. Okonkwo has 3 wives and 10 children. And the reason why Okonkwo believed that his father was a coward was because his father was indebted, his father was weak, his father was not strong enough. He's not one of the respected men in the community in Umuofa village. So Okonkwo doesn't want to be like his father, and he ensures he charts a new lifestyle. So Okonkwo has 3 wives and 10 children. He adopts a tragic flaw of his father, that is to go against the community and its norm. So Okonkwo proved his strength by killing Ikemefuna and by resisting the arrival of the white civilization. But Okonkwo fails to perceive the threat of this modern civilization that has impacted the people of Umuofia. Although Okonkwo has achieved personal and social success, he doesn't change with time. He goes into exile for murder after killing Ezeudu's son accidentally during the funeral interment of Ezeudu, when Okonkwo's gun exploded accidentally. And because the explosion of the gun was accidental, he was given 7 years in exile. If it was to be intentional, he would be banished for life from Umuofa. So when Okonkwo returns, when he returns back to Umuofa, he finds that most people in his own village, Umuofa, has embraced the white civilization and converted into Christianity from their way of paganism. So Okonkwo fiercely opposed the white man's authority, and he killed one of the English messengers and is filled with guilt. He is also surprised at the tribe reaction, which is of complete apathy and silence. And Okonkwo was expecting the members of the tribe, the elders, to also support him and even beat up the rest of the messengers. But they refused, did not react. So to avoid being judged by a white man, Okonkwo commits suicide. And he ended sadly. And that was the end of his life. Then another character in the novel is Ikemefuna. Ikemefuna is a 15-year-old boy who is put under Okonkwo's care when he is traded to the village as a compensation for the murder of a woman. According to the story, Ikemefuna's father had hand in the murder of a woman by another woman in the market. So Ikemefuna and a virgin daughter from from the Ubaino village, where the murderer lives or comes from, were traded to the people of Umofa to avoid war. So, Ikemefuna is 12 years when he starts living in Umofa, and though he initially struggles to fit in with Okonkwo's family, he is eventually welcomed by the family. Nwoye, Okonkwo's eldest son, becomes particularly close to Ikemefuna and thinks of him as the brother he never had. Ikemefuna is more traditional and he is more manly than Nwoye, and his interaction with Nwoye pleases Okonkwo. Eventually, Ikemefuna starts calling Okonkwo father, which Okonkwo allows him, and Okonkwo also took Ikemefuna as a son. After living with Okonkwo's family for 3 years, the Umuofa oracle demand that Ikemefuna should be killed. So Okonkwo feels hesitant and is giving advice by Ezeudu, the eldest man in the village of Umuofa, not to take part in the killing of Ikemefuna because Ikemefuna used to call Okonkwo father. But afraid to appear weak, Okonkwo decides to take part in the killing of Ikemefuna, but he stays back. The people deceive Ikemefuna that they are taking Ikemefuna to his village, and then they attack Ikemefuna on the way, and they try to kill Ikemefuna. So Ikemefuna was running towards Okonkwo, calling Okonkwo father, so that Okonkwo will save him from the hands of the people who wanted to kill him. But instead, Okonkwo was the one who gave a deadly blow to Ikemefuna, and Ikemefuna died. Though Okonkwo feels so guilty for doing that. Another character in the novel is Nwoye. Nwoye is Okonkwo's and his first wife's son, placing Nwoye in a very important position as the eldest son of the family of Okonkwo. Nwoye is more like his sensitive grandfather Unoka than his ultra-masculine father Okonkwo, something that bothers Okonkwo immensely. Nwoye is bothered by some of Umofia's tradition, such as leaving twins to die in the forest. Nwoye becomes very close to Ikemefuna, and when he finds out that Okonkwo took part in the killing of Ikemefuna, a rift starts forming between Nwoye and his father Okonkwo. During their exile, Nwoye is attracted to the kindness of the Christian missionaries and the Christian hymns that the missionaries used to sing. Though Nwoye initially never enters the church, when his father beat him for even being close to the church, Nwoye finally joined the Christian church. This caused Okonkwo to disown him from the family. Nwoye doesn't seem to mind and goes to study with the missionaries, doesn't care whether his father disown him or not. Another character in the novel is Obierika. Obierika is Okonkwo's closest friend. He is a calm, thoughtful, and reflective man who tries to give Okonkwo good advice, but Okonkwo ignores some of his, in fact, most of his advices. Obierika provides insight into the life and tradition of Umofa people. His daughter gets married early in the novel, and when Okonkwo is in exile in Ubanta, Obierika visits him often and brings him news of the white missionaries. And Obierika also helps Okonkwo financially by giving him a certain amount of money so that Okonkwo can get established in his mother's village, Ubanta. At the end of the novel, Obierika gets emotional after Okonkwo's death and screams at the missionaries, saying that they have caused the death of one of the greatest men of Umofa village. And it was a sad thing for the entire village that Okonkwo died. Another character in the novel is Ekwefi. Ekwefi is Okonkwo's second wife. She fell in love with Okonkwo as a young girl, but Okonkwo was unable to pay her bride price. As the village beauty, she quickly found a husband, but left the husband for Okonkwo later. She had a very difficult life. She gave birth to 10 children, but 9 of them died at infant age. It was only one daughter, Ezinma, that survived. Okay? Then another character in the novel is Ezinma. Ezinma is Okonkwo's eldest daughter and Ekwefi's only surviving daughter. In fact, only surviving child from infancy. Ezinma resembled her mother, who was once the village beauty, because Ezinma is also very, very beautiful. She understands her father very well, and her father, in turn, wishes that Ezinma would have been born a male child, a son to him, rather than a daughter. Ezinma also shares a close relationship with her mother, who consider Ezinma to be a companion as well as a daughter. Ezinma is one of the few people who can influence her father, Okonkwo. Okonkwo's relationship with her daughter, Ezinma, showcases some of the few times Okonkwo let his softer side emerge in the novel, because according to Okonkwo, the only emotion worth showing is anger. But here we see that Okonkwo showed emotion, that is love. He showed love to his daughter Ezinma. Then another character in the novel is called Unoka. Unoka is Okonkwo's father. He is not well respected in the clan because he is lazy and he is given to debt and pleasure. He is fond of playing music and telling stories, but he is always in debt, often begging others in the village for money. Okonkwo despises his father so much because he was not man enough and he was indebted. And Okonkwo started working hard at a young age to make sure he doesn't end up like his father Unoka. Okonkwo therefore hates all the things his father liked and represented. Both drive him to be successful, but also making him a cold and tough man. Because his father Unoka was given to pleasure, Okonkwo ensured that he does not give room for any kind of pleasure in his life. Okay? Then another character in the novel is Ekwefi and Ezeudu. Ekwefi and Ezeudu is the oldest man in the village of Umofa. Ekwefi and Ezeudu is very well respected for his wisdom, despite being a fierce warrior in his youth. In fact, he was a warrior like Okonkwo when he was young. Ekwefi and Ezeudu is the one who gave Okonkwo the advice not to take part in the killing of Ikemefuna. At the funeral of Ekwefi and Ezeudu, Okonkwo's gun exploded accidentally, killing Ezeudu's oldest son. And according to the tradition, Okonkwo was sentenced to 7 years in exile because he killed someone accidentally. If the killing was intentional, Okonkwo would have been banished for life from the village of Umofa. But because it was his accidental discharge, he was penalized with 7 years of exile. 7 years, not 7 months, 7 years of exile, in which Okonkwo spent that 7 years in his mother's village in Ubanta. The mother's village name is Ubanta. Then another character in the novel is called Uchendu. Uchendu is Okonkwo's uncle, the younger brother of Okonkwo's mother, who welcomes and helps Okonkwo to get settled during his exile in Ubanta. Uchendu is a kind and thoughtful man who gives Okonkwo good advice. Uchendu is an impressive but gentle patriarch. Even Okonkwo submits to the authority of Uchendu in the novel. Another character is Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown is the first white missionary to travel to Umuofia. He instituted a policy of respect and compromise between the church and the clansmen. In fact, Mr. Brown engages in long religious discussion with Akuna in order to understand the Igbo tradition, and he built a school and a hospital in Umuofia. Unlike Reverend Smith, who arrives later, Mr. Brown avoids resorting to violence and harsh method of enforcing church beliefs, attempting to use his understanding of the Igbo faith to convert the clansmen, and even the elders are at peace with Mr. Brown. Then after Mr. Brown, we have another character called Reverend James Smith. Reverend James Smith is Mr. Brown's successor. Unlike Mr. Brown, James Smith viewed the local as savages and has no interest in understanding the local traditions and customs. He changes the role of the missionaries and convert, and the role of the missionary and the convert, inciting violence and a stricter code of conversion and conversion. In fact, James Smith shows the dark face of the bright civilization that is coming to the African continent. He is quite the opposite of Mr. Brown, a very harsh and strict preacher. James Smith asks his convert to berate their past belief and embrace new ones wholeheartedly. James is a representative of colonialism and provoked the locals by suspending a local woman from the church for showing her reverence to the local tradition. And that made him incur the wrath of the locals, and the church was burned down, but James Smith escaped unhurt. Another character in the novel, which we are going to discuss, the last character we are going to discuss today, is the district commissioner. A condescending and haughty. In fact, the district commissioner is another representative of the Western civilization through his strong administration. As a shrewd administrator, he uses his knowledge of the native land to manage the locals. He also embodies a reductive attitude towards races, very ignorant in the novel. The district commissioner shows up in Umuofia after Okonkwo murders a white man towards the end of the novel. The district commissioner plans to write a book on his experiences in Nigeria, and the title he chooses is The Pacification of the Primitive Tribe of the Lower Niger. This reveals his superior attitude towards the Igbo people, whom he treats as object of study rather than as actual people with their own complex customs and beliefs. So he's an embodiment of colonialism. There are several other characters in the novel, but we are going to stop here today. We have Ujoego, we have other characters. Okay, we are going to be discussing those one in our subsequent lesson. Please subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you get notified when another video is uploaded. Thank you and have a great day.